Hi everyone, and welcome to today's Instagram Live, where we're going to be talking about careers, employability and volunteering here at Royal Holloway. We're just going to introduce ourselves quickly. My name is Jack, and I'm in my final year here at Royal Holloway studying drama and theatre studies.
I'm Alessia, I study History of Art and Comparative Literature, and I'm in my second year.
Hi, I'm Christine, I'm third year Psychology.
And hello, I'm Doreen, and I am the Deputy Head of the Career Service.
So we're just going to go through some questions. This is a Q&A session, and all about the career service we have here, and
Alright, so we'll jump straight into some of our questions. What career services are available at Royal Holloway?
Oh, I can take that question, so coming from the Career Service. So for every student, regardless if you're in your first, second, third year, or even if you've graduated, there's a lot on offer for students at Royal Holloway. So we offer a range of support opportunities like one-to-one appointments, so you can book a one-to-one appointment with a careers consultant where you can discuss anything to do with your career journey. So perhaps you've got no idea what you want to do, or maybe you've got a clear idea of what you want to do after you've graduated. We support students throughout your entire journey. We also have lots of relationships with employers, so we organise all sorts of events throughout the year. So depending on the type of industry or the type of job you're looking to get into, we have events that run throughout the year for you to connect with employers, find out what types of jobs are out there, what skills are needed, how can you succeed in finding a job. We do quite a bit within the curriculum, so depending on what you're thinking about studying, it's very likely that there'll be careers-related elements to your study as well. It's something that we're doing a lot more work in with regards to what you're studying and how your studies can have more of a careers role and element to it. If you've got a CV, application form, cover letter, interview coming up, we can support you with all of those sorts of processes. So you can book practice interviews, you can book a CV or cover letter and an application check, and we've also got loads of resources online. So if you don't want to come along to our in-person events and you want to check out what we've got online, we've got lots of resources online, from how to write a good CV, how to do well in an assessment centre, how to pick a career. Perhaps you've got lots of different options you're exploring. How can you decide on which kind of career path you want to take? So there's lots that we can offer to students who are thinking about the career.
Cool, sounds good. How do students find a job for their work year placements during their undergraduate degree?
When I came from Italy, and before joining university I checked the website and I found out the career service, so I asked for an appointment, an online one, because I was still in Italy, to check my CV, and then I submitted my application for working in one of the dining halls. I got the job, and then I worked for a year in one of the dining halls we have, and then I was suggested from my professor to apply to become a student ambassador. So that's what I did, and then I got the job as student ambassador. So it's very easy. You can always ask for help at the career service, and as well your professors can help you, suggesting some roles that might be specific for you. But I would say that it's very easy, and you can always find support everywhere.
We've got a separate question here. Does the university have links with specific employers?
We don't have kind of exclusive links with employers, but we do have really good relationships with employers. And so, as I mentioned before, throughout the year, we will work with employers from different industries, whether it's the legal sector, marketing, communications, heritage, science and technology, performing and digital arts. We've got links with a range of employers across all types of industries, and so through the events that we organise, we will bring these employers in, and they will speak to students about the variety of roles that they've got available within their organisation, what job opportunities, internship opportunities, placement opportunities they might have available. So we develop really strong relationships with employers, but what we don't have is sort of an exclusive relationship where, you know, we would say, you know, you can do a placement with X employer and guarantee that, but we've got very good relationships with a range of employers.
And to follow on from that, what careers have recent graduates gone on to do?
Oh gosh, so it really does depend, but one of the things that we do is once you've graduated, we always follow up with students about sort of 15 months after they've graduated to find out what they're doing, and the roles are really varied. So, you know, we've got students working for the civil service, so they're working in government. We have students working in the charity sector. We've got a lot of students working in sort of big corporate organisations, finance and banking, law, marketing and communications. So it's really, really varied. And again, depending on what you're studying and depending on what you want to do after you've graduated, we will work with students on an individual basis to help them progress into the types of graduate roles that they're looking for. But it really is varied in terms of the types of jobs students go into. But the good thing we can say is that a large percentage of our students are in graduate level work within sort of 18 months after they've graduated. So studying at Royal Holloway does put you in a really good position to find graduate level work.
And it's really great for me as well as a drama student. You know, it's a subject that's traditionally people question the sort of career prospects of it and studying at a university, but seeing the friends I made in the years above me, seeing them to go on to do amazing things, go to drama school and then find careers out of that, but also seeing the people on my course, you know, want to do so many things with drama and performance, so drama therapy, working, using performance as therapy in like prisons, children's theatre, teaching. I've really been introduced to the wider career prospects of the course that I take. So it's just been really cool to see like all the sort of ambitions of my peers on my course, and like I've learned a lot from them and their own career prospects as well.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point to make, because depending on what you're studying at Royal Holloway, what we won't do within the career service is say, you know, because you're studying sort of performing arts, you must go into a performing arts role. What we will say is, you know, you're studying this degree, what are the range of options you could explore, and you know, depending on what you're studying, it could open a range of different opportunities to you. And we see a lot of students that are they come to careers with a particular perhaps career in mind, but they didn't actually realise that with their degree or with their interest there are lots of opportunities that they could explore. And that's one of the things we really encourage students to do, to explore the variety of options that are available to them.
That's great. We've had a question come in. What sort of part-time jobs are available on and around campus, and how easy are they to apply to?
I think there are many options, especially on campus, but also in ECAM in general, because it's a really student-based area. So most of the residents are probably Royal Holloway students. So most of the employers are aware of the fact that they try to employ Royal Holloway students on a more regular basis. Personally, I work at the SU, which is a great idea because it gives a lot of student perks as well. So you get some special discounts when you work for the university. And of course, on a college level, being a student ambassador is also a job here. So you get to do many fun shit, such as like tours and open days and events in general. So yeah, definitely if you come to Royal Holloway, be aware that there are many things to do on campus if you want to work part-time.
And there's loads of things like part-time jobs you can do that have like connections to your degree. So like the performing and digital arts departments like send out emails to like everyone in their departments with like job opportunities for like local youth theatre companies needing. So one of my other part-time jobs is that I teach at an after-school drama club at local primary schools, which was recommended through the performing digital arts department through an email they sent, and they send out loads of emails like different companies looking for different drama students specifically to aid them in that. So it's really nice to be able to do like a part-time job that also connects with my degree in a lot of ways.
And we organise, just so you're aware, twice a year the career service will organise a dedicated part-time jobs fair. So we run one in the autumn term, I think another one in the spring term. So if you're looking for a part-time job, you can come along to our part-time jobs fair. We've got vacancies with regards to opportunities on campus, but there are lots of local employers that advertise for part-time jobs as well. So we've got 2 part-time jobs fairs that you can come along to.
That's brilliant. And if you wanted to take the volunteering route, what sort of volunteering opportunities are there, and how can students get involved?
I volunteer for the picture gallery. Since I study history of art, I decided to volunteer for the gallery, and it's an amazing experience because I get to actually do what I would like to do in the future as well. It's been amazing, and I've had the chance to do some lunch talks, so I actually did explain and describe some paintings that were in the gallery. And I'm volunteering for an outreach program for the gallery as well. So a number of students is planning some activities to do for an exhibition we have on campus, and I will do an internship thanks to one of my lecturers in Florence. I would work for the Medici Archive project, and that would be volunteering as well. So there are loads of opportunities that connect to your study path as well.
Sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
We have an award-winning volunteering team. So if anyone's interested in volunteering, volunteering at Royal Holloway is top level.
It's possible to volunteer for the third year as well. Like part of some credits you can do instead of taking a module, you can volunteer in the area of EGAM. So that would be good as well.
And I know that they also do some volunteering abroad. So some really fun trips. I know that this year are going to Thailand, I think, and Peru. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Peru.
But they're going to some great places, and they stay for like a whole month, and they volunteer in the local community. And of course, that's like a really amazing opportunity that you probably wouldn't be able to get if you were a student. At least not the same budget. So I think it's definitely a really great experience.
Great. We've had a question from the chat here. How can students get involved with the Student Ambassador Programme, and what sort of does that entail?
Applications, I think they open every year, and they employ both undergrad and postgrad students. I think it's fairly easy. There's quite a selective interview process and a few tasks to complete, but then you get the opportunity to, if you get accepted, to work as an ambassador for your whole degree.
Yeah, it's like 7 to 8 questions to start, and then if you proceed, you get to do like a presentation about the university, a PowerPoint presentation, and then you get to take all the shifts you want, and there are loads of different shifts, so obviously you can decide what you like more and then work as in a joyful way, I think.
Yeah, there's loads of opportunity with the Student Ambassador Programme because you can do such a wide variety of things. Like we work a lot of school visits to campus, and you can also work with the events team, so like different events that the uni are holding, and different companies that are using the university for different events that they are doing as well. So you get a lot of experience with like events, organisation. You also have the opportunity to become a senior student ambassador, which is what I am, which is taking more of a supervisor role within like the open days, and more of a leadership role within that as well. So there's a lot of opportunities within that programme, definitely.
And what is great is that you get to work with multiple teams as well. So many ambassadors, myself included, we work for the Widening Access team, which is a really great team that they provide access to higher education for more underrepresented groups. And I get to work with children as well, which is something that I probably wouldn't have the opportunity to do otherwise without a degree. And it's a really great experience because I do psychology, and working with children as part of your degree is very crucial.
You also get the chance to work on actual surveys. Me and Christine are working on a student engagement survey, so we thought about all the questions we had to insert, and then we will do some focus groups. So we're working with the college members as well, so it's really interesting to have these kind of opportunities.
That's great. Can we talk about optional placements and placement years for students?
Yeah, so the optional placement year is an opportunity for any student to take a year out of their studies to either work, volunteer, or study abroad. So you don't have to have selected a year out degree to be eligible for the optional placement year. So maybe you're doing a straight psychology degree or a straight English degree, and then you decide once you've joined Royal Holloway that actually you'd like to take some time out to do some work experience or some volunteering as part of your studies, and the optional placement year essentially allows you to do that. So once you've joined Royal Holloway, if after your first year you decide that you would like to do the optional placement year, you can then apply to be on the optional placement year in your second year, and then you would take the third year out to either work, study or volunteer, and then come back in your fourth year to complete your studies. And so it's just an opportunity for any student that decides to take a year out and gain some work experience, gain some volunteering. So you don't have to have applied for a year out scheme to do that. You can decide to do the optional placement year once you've joined Royal Holloway.
And following on from that, what placement opportunities have previous students undertaken?
So again, it's really varied. With the optional placement year, the one thing that you probably would need to be aware of is that it does need to align more with the course that you're studying. So if you're doing an optional placement year sort of in English and then you want to take sort of a year out, then your optional placement year would have to be approved by your department. And so depending on the department that you're studying in, the placements would vary, but students are encouraged to find their own placement. But again, we've had student work in charitable organisations, students have worked for local authority, government organisations, some students have worked and studied abroad, so they found opportunities perhaps in their home country because they're an international. There is a student that works, studies here, but they want to go and get some experience abroad, and they've been able to secure opportunities abroad. So again, it really does vary, but the main difference is that it does have to have some type of connection to the degree that you're studying.
That's great. Can we talk about CV Stack and how that can help students through their career journey?
Yeah, so you might have heard about CV Stack. It's basically the university's new skills and employability kind of framework. So what CV Stack's essentially all about, it's a way of making sure that every student that comes to Royal Holloway is able to, one, develop a range of skills, but more importantly, two, think about how the skills that they've been developing can position them for the types of jobs that they want to go into. So we tend to see a lot of students, for example, who they've done some brilliant work experience, or they're working part-time, and sometimes they think, oh, but I've only worked at Starbucks as a barista. And actually, when you think about the sort of part-time jobs that they do, they've developed a lot of skills, but we want to really encourage students to have the confidence to articulate those skills really well in a CV or in a cover letter or in an interview. And that's essentially what CV Stack's going to help you do. We've identified 12 particular skills that we want all students to develop during their time at university. And as part of your studies, but also as part of your extracurricular activities, we will be encouraging you to think about how you can develop those skills. So if we take, say, communication skills, for instance, in what ways can you develop communication skills? So you guys have spoken about brilliant opportunities that you're doing, and as they're talking, I'm like, oh, that's communication skills, leadership skills, adaptability. I mean, you've got opportunities to really develop a range of skills through part-time work, volunteering, being a student ambassador. And what CV Stack will do, it will enable you to reflect on the skills that you are developing and think about how you can take those skills and articulate them to employers in such a way that after you've graduated, you're a lot more confident to be able to find the jobs that you want to find, because you know the skills that you've been developing during your time at Royal Holloway.
That's great. And have any of you used the career service for the CV help or checking over things?
I've used it many times. Well, when I was thinking about doing an internship, I didn't end up doing it. It was a placement year that you mentioned before, but I still got the interview, and I still kind of went into the process of preparing for a big job interview. It was my first time, and it really helped me out with my cover letter review, and then the one-on-one interview as well was really helpful. And surprisingly, so many of the questions that they asked me were the ones that were in the actual interview as well. And then, it was really helpful. And then on a more regular basis, when I was kind of still deciding my career path, being a third-year student, I had some conversations with them, and it helped me kind of decide what choices I have and what would be best according to my personality, but also my prospects as a psychology student, and with a growing market and stuff like that. I wouldn't know that personally. For example, I would know what I'm good at doing, but I wouldn't necessarily know how to go about it. So that's great help to have.
That's great. And considering your time here and that you're all in employment whilst being a student, would you say that you found finding work difficult? Has it been quite competitive, or have you found the process of applying to things quite easy?
I think that everyone gets the opportunity to do it. Obviously, if you really want to, it's good to prepare for the interviews, ask the career service to just clear your mind. But I have many friends that have applied to different jobs and they all got one. So obviously I would recommend to try, the more the merrier, so the more submission you do, the better it is, but you will definitely find something if you really want to.
And I feel like it definitely is competitive because it is a student area, but I feel like there's so many positions available, so many students can really get something if they want. I personally have not struggled to find a part-time job or jobs in general, so I would definitely say, but yeah, do apply to many things, keep your options open, because you never know what you may end up doing and really enjoying. So,
and there's also a wide variety of things you can do. So if you want to do bar work and you've had experience in bar work before coming to uni, there are plenty of pubs and bars on campus, as well as the Students' Union. But also if that's not something you have much experience in, or not an environment that you want to sort of be working in, you can do so many other things. A lot of my so I also do part-time work as tutoring on the side as well. So a lot of my part-time work is through education and teaching and performance skills, because that's kind of my skill set. So I don't feel pressured to go into a field that I'm not familiar with or not comfortable with, because there's so much opportunity in developing skills that I already have and that can be developed further.
Before coming to Oxford University, I was still in Italy. I got a job in a hotel near Egam, and then when I came to uni, I found out that I could do the dining hall as well. So I worked for a week at the hotel, and then I figured out that it was better to work at uni, so I just decided to change the role. So.
And with your part-time jobs, obviously your main purpose is being at university and being a student. So how do you find managing those competing priorities and not letting anything slip, really? How do you have a good work-life balance?
It's been harder in third year for me than it has been in second year, considering everything holds a lot more weight academic-wise. Not that in second year it doesn't count, but third year has you thinking about more things. For example, if you want to do a master's next year, if you want to get a job, you have to think about applying for that as well. And then there's the research projects and dissertations and all of that. So it definitely does require a lot of planning ahead and trying to really not plan more than you know that you will be able to do. Because I struggle with that sometimes, kind of signing up for so many things and then be okay, but there's literally no more time in the week to do all those things. So prioritizing was a big thing for me, having the tasks that are most important done first, and then seeing what else I can do. So that applies to both of my jobs as well, because when they're two different jobs, you have to think of how one fits in the other schedule. So definitely loads and loads of planning and prioritizing was it for me.
And what's great about jobs on campus, and to some extent jobs in the local area, is that they are given the students timetables. What our job is student ambassadors, that's a 0-hour contract, so we get to pick the shifts that we are available for based on our timetables of the days. So the university really caters to assuring that students are keeping a good work and life balance. But personally, I do quite a bit of part-time work, but I'm also able to maintain work on my degree, and as well as socialising in my societies, which all of that is in the evenings. So society stuff is in the evenings, and my part-time work is sort of throughout the day. So I do things based on my schedule and stuff. But I hear what you're saying as well about thinking about the future. It's probably been the toughest thing, because you are so busy, especially in our final year, and so focused on the now that you forget that you need to keep sort of broadening your horizon on the future. So thinking about like masters and like careers prospects is a challenge to some extent, and trying to keep it in mind, but also not let it slip under the radar.
Yeah. Which is why I guess as a service we always encourage students to think about your career from your first year, so that you've got that time to spread out the opportunities you might want to take. So, you know, for some of you it might be that in your third year you may not have the time to do all of the things that you want to do because you want to focus on your studies, but if you're able to maximise your first and second year, then you can take a bit of a step back in your third year to focus on your studies. So we always encourage students, if you can, you know, come and see the career service from year one. You will see us in presentations within your departments, but we do always encourage students, you know, don't leave it till sort of the final term of your final year to come and see us. There's lots you can do from year one, so that when you get to your final year you are a lot more confident and sort of less anxious about what's going to happen after you graduated.
Great. I'm just going to say a final call to our viewers there for any last questions, and then just to kind of say, for now while we wait, do you have a word to sum up your time working at Royal Holloway in your roles?
For me, it would be just opportunity. Before coming to university, I just did not imagine the things that I'd be able to do in the part-time work that I've done. Like, it's been so rewarding, especially a lot of my work is working with children and educating children and bringing confidence and performance skills out of children. That's been so rewarding, and you just feel an immense sense of pride through the work we do. So the opportunity that I've been given is, for me, the number one takeaway.
Yeah, I've been growing a lot because I started like in designing hall, and then I did a summer skill placement. I worked with my department on the website page. So, and then I became a student ambassador. Then I will do the internship at the Medici archive. So I just would be saying that I've been growing a lot. I've been focusing more on what I like, and hopefully that would be useful for my future. And the volunteering as well. It's everything is linked to what I love. So definitely growing and understanding what I like doing.
Yeah, and for me it's definitely that experience. I never thought before that I would be able to do all of those things as just a student here at Holloway, because when I was in my home country I hadn't worked before. So for all of those students that are worrying that I have no job experience, am I going to be able to find something? Yes, you definitely will be able to find something if you really want to, because at the end of the day, like, it is a student role, and it is expected that you will not have all the previous qualifications, and that's the best thing about it, that you get to grow through that role, and that helps you really realize what you want to do as a future career. So working, for example, in an office can help you understand whether you like working a 9-to-5 job or whether you would like to do something more active. So that is kind of like an experience on its own.
That's great. And last question, from somebody that we've got here actually. It says, how do you find Royal Holloway as a community in welcoming you? I know that's kind of slightly off topic, but obviously people are asking those kind of questions here today as well. So how would you find Royal Holloway as a community in welcoming you?
I feel like it's great. As an international student, I felt like welcome from day one. I have loads of friends, even when, like, during the breaks, I see my friends. We spend the birthdays together, Christmas break, we see each other, New Year's Eve together, so I would definitely say that it's a good community. Also, what I love about this is that you can actually create a relationship with colleagues as well, and lecturers as well, especially for small departments, which, like mine is. It's really good because you get like an actual experience of what you could do in the future, and always being inspired by other people that work here.
And I feel like it's really diverse as well, inclusive. Yeah. I like the fact that there's so many students, and not just internationals, but yet also very many international students, but also from different like cultural backgrounds. And I find that to be really inspiring and eye-opening as well. Like having conversations with people who have experienced things that you haven't experienced. And that is really amazing to do. And also it does feel like a really homey community because it's an on-campus university. So our accommodation is on campus, our classes are on campus, so it doesn't feel really like widespread and unfamiliar. It just feels like home from day one.
Yeah, library is always open, so it's always a great place to go.
Yeah, well, we're going to end it there now, but thank you so much for your questions, and thank you for listening to us. And if you want any more information, you can visit the career services on the Royal Holloway website, and you can also talk to real students at Royal Holloway through UniBuddy, where they'll get back to you within 24 hours with any questions that you have about coming to university, student life, anything like that. But for now, have a good rest of your days, and thank you for coming.